Energy Solutions Today, we will discuss how the energy crisis is far-reaching and impacts all facets of our lives. It costs more and more to fill up our cars, heat our homes, buy food for our families, and run our businesses and schools. We need to find ways for our country to become energy independent. In today's segment of Energy Solutions Today, we will investigate one energy solution, offshore drilling. Welcome to Energy Solutions Today. Hello, I'm Lindy Fay. We read the headlines, listen to the news, watch our bills go up, and wonder, when will we ever become more energy independent? Today we'll take a look at one of the possible solutions to our energy crisis, offshore drilling. Today our first guest is Senator Frank Wagner. Senator Wagner graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy with a degree in ocean engineering. He passed legislation in 2005 through the General Assembly to lift the moratorium on offshore drilling. In 2006, he authored the Virginia Energy Plan, the most comprehensive plan of any state in the nation. The senator is a member of the Governor's Climate Change Committee, Virginia's Commission on Coal and Energy, and Senator Wagner is chairman of the Virginia Manufacturing Development Commission and serves on the Senate Transportation and Commerce and Labor Committees. Welcome, Senator.
Thank you, Lindy.
Let's talk about energy today. What is the real problem?
The real problem, Lindy, is that we just haven't developed a comprehensive energy strategy at the national level to be able to resolve the energy crisis that this nation faces right now. We have tremendous natural resources available in this country. We have tremendous technical talent in this country. What we haven't done is formulated a strategy and a policy decisions necessary to take advantage of all of those and really move forward with a comprehensive energy plan for this nation is absolutely essential at this point in time. When you look at $4 a gallon gasoline plus, when you look at the increasing skyrocketing utility bills, the skyrocketing food bills, and yet we sit idle and do that, and it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way at all. We have the resources in this nation. What we haven't done is been able to take advantage of it.
Tell us about your experience in resolving the energy crisis in our country, and particularly in our state.
Well, Lindy, it was 2005. For a long time, we'd seen the energy crisis coming down the road. It was as clear as a bell coming to those of us that took time to look at it and look at the issue. We tried in Virginia through legislation I carried in 2005 to actually ask the federal government to lift the moratorium, at least off of Virginia's coast, so we could try to take advantage of our offshore resources. The message was heard in Washington, the moratorium stay in place, but we're incorporated in the U.S. Department of Interior's 5-year plan, which means that in about a year and a half, if the moratoriums are lifted, we'll be eligible for leasing right off the eastern seaboard of Virginia. And so that's a kind of an exciting news. After I carried the offshore bill, though, we looked back and said, really, this offshore is one small part of a very complex and very comprehensive energy strategy that we need to put together in Virginia. And it's based around conservation. How do we use our energy? Can we use it more efficiently? Do we waste a lot of energy? And the answer to all those questions are yes, and it's something that we tried to build into the energy plan. We also took a look at nuclear power. There's one that we haven't developed any nuclear reactors in the last 2 decades in this country. And we said, gee, it's the policy of Virginia that we want to see more electricity generated through the use of nuclear power. We looked at wind and renewables and many of the things that we can do there. We want to encourage the use of renewable energy resources in Virginia. Those things that Virginia may be set up geographically for, and take advantage of those things. And then, of course, we want to incentivize our universities. We like to see Virginia's universities be leaders in energy research and technology. We've tried to strategize that and move it forward with it. So indeed, it's a very, very complex plan, but you can't say we can do one of these and not do all. We need to do all of these strategies if we're going to make a meaningful results. But when you look at the underlying picture of all that it is, what we're talking about is Americans producing American energy for American homeowners and American industry. We can do that, and we need to do that, and I'll tell you, we must do that. And I'm hoping that we can get a comprehensive strategy similar to Virginia's put in place in Washington.
Well, is there really a solution to this problem?
Lindy, there is, and if you look at the available natural resources in this country, when you look at the oil shale reserves out in Colorado, those oil shale reserves represent more than all the oil in Saudi Arabia. We are the OPEC of coal. This country contains more coal in it than any other country in the world. We haven't even looked at the vast majority of our outer continental shelf, that area that we do the offshore drilling in. We haven't even done the surveys on those potential energy. Just 2 years ago in the Gulf of Mexico, they found one new deposit of oil in the Gulf of Mexico that increased this nation's oil reserves by 30%. We haven't even begun to nip into that area, and yet all those things are available, but we need the policies to facilitate the exploration and the development of those resources. We invented nuclear technology. We made it practical in this country, and we walked away from it. Now, France didn't walk away from it. 80% of their power is generated through nuclear. About 25% of this nation's power is generated from nuclear. We need to set that goal of 80%. Why? We were putting Americans back to work building these nuclear power plants. We're putting Americans back to work operating these nuclear power plants. We produce no greenhouse gases, no emissions from that. We can substantially reduce. If we generated 80% of our power by nuclear, we take 2 billion pounds of CO2 out of the atmosphere every year. And then we could take that coal that we might have burned, and the coal we can readily convert into fuel oil and diesel oil. South Africa already does it. Germany did it near the end of World War II. It's a process that's been around a long time. Given our coal reserves, we can meet our fuel oil requirements, and those in the industry tell me it can be done for $65 a barrel equivalent. Now think about that. We're paying anywhere from $120 to $140 a barrel. You're cutting in half the cost of oil. When you start to put a comprehensive plan like that together, those that speculate on oil prices going higher will now speculate and say these guys are serious about it. They're going to move forward with this. They'll now start speculating on oil prices going down. You're going to see an immediate relief if we enact a comprehensive plan. You're going to see an immediate relief at the gas pump, at the grocery store, and in your utility bills. This is so easy to do. And I also would have to emphasize that we really need to work conservation into this. We waste a tremendous amount of energy in this country, and it's a shame. And in the process of wasting it, we allow more pollutants to go in the air. We can design and build our houses better. We can design and build our schools better. We can drive more fuel-efficient vehicles. We don't need SUVs to drive around. And quite frankly, I think a lot of people are regretting that they're driving around in their SUVs right now. But there's a number of things we can do in conservation. There's a number of policies as a practical matter that government needs to put into place to encourage, incentivize folks to want to go use the conservation measures that do, buy the energy efficient appliances, buy the fluorescent light bulbs, do the things you can do around your house every day to not only reduce your energy bill, but also help the overall energy requirements in this country.
This is such a timely topic. We're hearing so much about offshore drilling in newspapers, news programs. Can you address that topic in particular?
Certainly, and the offshore drilling is one component of the comprehensive plan. It's a very, very important component and could be very, very important to Virginia. As I mentioned earlier, we're already in the comprehensive 5-year plan that the Department of Interior, so Virginia's waters could be considered for leasing as early as 2011, which is exciting. That's a 5-year head start on any other state. That would provide immediate royalty payments to Virginia if the government continues to go down the path they have over the last several years to share up to 30 to 40% of those revenues directly back with the states involved. And so when we strategized our energy plan within Virginia, one of the things that came up is said we don't want any activity within 50 miles of our coast. And as Interior went through their environmental impact statements over the last 3.5 years, which is what this 5-year study is, they recognized Virginia's request and have honored Virginia's request. So there'll be no activity even considered for leasing within 50 miles of the coast. Obviously, that puts it over the horizon, as we used to say in the Navy, where you physically can't see it because it is over the horizon, and that means that no activity will occur there. However, you know, it's a very exciting component. When you look at the true environmental picture, and hopefully we'll have a chance to discuss that a little later, you'll find out that it's environmentally an extremely safe and proven industry. In fact, a lot of these towers have become reefs and habitats in and of themselves. And also the economic advantages, you know, the practical factors of the jobs that we would create in this area. The fact that we have a head start means a lot of the infrastructure to support the offshore activities will be located in here. Dr. Cook over at Old Dominion University in a study a few years back estimated 6,000 new jobs would be added to the Hampton Roads economy just for the activity offshore. That's equivalent of several Ford factories that we lost. And to give you an economic impact of the potential here, obviously there's a spillover effect in the economic activity. You're looking at royalty payments, jobs, and the bottom line is Americans producing the American energy for American industry and American homeowners.
Thank you, Senator. Stay with us. Coming up, we'll be talking about the environmental impact of offshore drilling, and the answers just may surprise you.